Right, guys. I'm here with you. It looks like it's time I went and grabbed a quick coffee. I've been kicked out of the lobby by the looks of it, so let's get back in, shall we? The artist Gooner, he should be in there. Back. There you go. Excellent. Right, there we are. Yeah, welcome everybody to HRF1 Sunday Night League in round 4 of the season. And we're at Silverstone, so we know it's going to be a good race. It always is, Silverstone. And as if that wasn't good enough, we got 2 races for you because we got short qualifying, sprint race, 50% race. So it's going to be exciting. I just need to do a bit of sharing about with these streamers seconds. Just bear with me a moment. Unfortunately, as Whoopi knows, I was off the previous stream nice and early tonight, but I closed the game down, and when I wanted to get back onto the game, it wouldn't blooming let me in, would it? So stuck on the communicating with online services for ages. So right then, there we go. Share. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Let's share it. Well, should we share it in hybrid? This is probably a good idea. KKH saying that you're offline. You need to go online. Dorian wants an invite. Oh, God. Everybody talking so much on Discord. It keeps coming up and I keep nearly pressing a link. Alright, it's Arc. So I made admin in Arc. I'm allowed. I can do what I want, pretty much. I can do what I want as long as the owners don't hear me saying I can do what I want. WAOF1 again. I can do what I want in there. That's fine. Oh, don't share it in there though. Nobody's gonna look in the race rules for you stream, you fool. Right. Even he should have plenty of quite lazy as well, Mr. Wells, so probably work anyway. Oh, look, he's here already. I could do what I want, no chance. Definitely do what I want. What are you talking about? As soon as you... I did... oh yeah, I did get kicked again. Unbelievable. Staying in the lobby, but once we actually got out on track and got on with it, I was fine. It was just for some reason in the lobby it was a bit of a pin. What you put now? You literally find out who your boss is and tell them. Right then. What time is it? What time is it? It's 2 minutes past 8. The Gooner Whooper, you're running late again. What's going on, guys? Come on. I'm always on time, and then you guys. No, I do know it's because we're having a bit of trouble getting somebody in who's showing offline for some reason, which often happens on Xbox. Let's be honest. I'm forever having people tell me I'm showing offline when I'm not. I never switch my status between showing offline and online. I always, if I'm online, it will show I'm online. So I've just found out that one of our drivers is got a huge hangover. So, crisp 76, yeah, that is exactly why old people shouldn't be drinking. That's what I'm putting in the server anyway. That's why old people shouldn't be drinking. Right, why have I got a notification in here? I think Grez is getting on at me. Illy, what's your verdict on this? I'll tell you later, mate. I'm doing comms. Really need to get used to my schedule, you know. So I'm just checking around Discord, guys, and yeah, it seems we're just having a bit of trouble. As Curtin King he's all here and he's waiting. He wants to race and he's willing to race, but he's just having a little bit of trouble with the old Xbox. It may be, guys, he might need to turn off and on again that old IT trick. It sounds to me like he might not be. That he's not maybe not he's maybe not connected to Xbox Live properly. He's literally stuck on that. There's no point sitting on the joining session screen. Curtin King, I don't know if you're listening. If you're listening, don't just sit on that screen, mate. It's not gonna just suddenly work. So cancel it out, come out, stop the game, give it 10 seconds, load the game back up, and go again. I was having trouble before too, so I finished the previous stream nice and early. I could not get in at all. So here we go. Then they've said they need to get going. Right, there we go. Sorry if. Oh, you just did. Okay. Sorry. Right, here we go. Bowden, hello. Thanks for joining the stream, mate, and to all the others that have joined the stream as well. Thank you. I can see there's some of you out there now. So, yeah, I can't wait to get racing as well. I've just had a really good race in the other league. We've been having a tough time in that league recently, but it's a good one tonight. A few safety cars, but it was at Imola, and you kind of expect safety cars at Imola, to be honest. But no, the racing was good though. It was good battles, particularly going up into turn one. There's lots of it, so I'm expecting much the same here. Not so much battling in turn one, but Silverstone is usually a really good race, so I'm expecting a lot tonight. That would be awesome if we can get Curtin King in as well. If we can get Curtin King onto the grid, have 18 of you, that would be awesome. Let me see. I'm sure I had Curtin King added. Now, if I do have you added, Carson King, you're not showing us online again still. Whoopi sent you an invite now, KK. Right, who was first out? I think it's Williams, is it? Yeah, it is, look. Ah, it's Massey himself. Massey himself is out first. Right, so just KK was just about to give up on trying to get in, but we talked him into having another go. He's going to power down again and give it another go. We'd love to have him on track if we can. He's a brilliant driver. We love having him on track. So, sorry, let's get this stream back off of the Wi-Fi because it'd be lagging all over the place again on the screen. So, so the man in the way. See what sort of lap time we can get tonight. The comms I've done at Silverstone just recently hasn't exactly hit the dizzy heights that I was expecting in qualifying. The races have been phenomenal, but the qualifying performances haven't been quite as good as I've kind of expected. So let's see if HRF1 can put that right tonight. Love to see a 126 tonight, but I think a low 27 is probably more realistic, but lush to see a 26. This man that we're on board with is capable of it, so perhaps not on the first run. In the first run it's all about getting a time on the board to start with, but a later run could. So here he comes. Heads to the line then and starts us off with a 28-0. Hunter has picked up a 5-place grid penalty. He's had a collision with Bowden. Where's Bowden then? We're up there. That's really odd. That is an odd one. So far away from each other. I'm not sure how that's happened. Anyway, lots of drivers crossing the line. Here comes another one. Chip Van is heading for the line now. He crossed the line 27. Oh no, that was Chaldinho. Sorry, 29.2. Chip Van did go into P7, drops to P8. Who else we got on the way? As Hunter goes into the pits. Bowden will cross the line, but was invalidated. I don't know what's happened between them, but they've had some sort of coming together. We'll go with this man now. Let's go back to this one. So, in a way, I guess if that's going to happen somewhere, it's probably better it happens when it's a sprint race because it doesn't affect you so much in a way. But, of course, there are points on offer for the sprint race as well, so top 8, well, it's the same as your old life for the sprint race, so top 8 score points, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and wait place. So what you see on the first lap is you see people taking pretty carefully Maggots and Beckett's here, and no sort of heroics going on, just wants to get a time down on the board, and then he can worry about pace later on. It's two reasons for that. One, it's good just to get a time on the board, just in case when you actually really go to your best, you invalidate and don't have a good stab at it. But I think the main reason for me personally is I like to have a target to aim for. Find that if I can see the green in the corner, then I find that I'm, just gives me a bit of confidence, I think. So, Twiglet, who had a superb race last week. Let's see if we can duplicate it this week. He's invalidated this lap. So, go again. Bowden is out there. He's gone into P7. 29.0, so that was a proper run. And Hunter's back out on an outlap. So, are we building up to have another go here, or is he going into the pits? He's going to go again, so let's stick with him. And, I'll tell you what, as soon as he had such a great race last week, I was very impressed with Twiglet last week. We'll do the hilly hot lap with him this week. So, across the line he comes then. We head up into turn 1. So, for qualifying, turn 1 will definitely be flat out. In the race, there may be a slight lift. Same for turn 2, late but heavy braking into turn 3, take a good apex, use a bit of curb, and down to second in this case for turn 4, although you will see some using third or even fourth through there. It's kind of a personal preference thing. Picks up DRS, heads down to this quick left-hander, but it's a late braking, late apex left. You need to be hitting the apex on the inside. It allows you to open up the power and get a good short power burst into this corner. Good exit there from Twiglet. Very, very important. Uses all of the track. It gains you thousands, but it gains you something. That's the main thing. And just about stays on track so as not to invalidate. 3 maggots of Beckett's now. And very nicely done indeed. Comes out of maggots of Beckett's. Will pick up the DRS once more. That's the end of sector 2, 105.3. Not going to be a time that puts him right at the front, but it's decent. Head down to this right-hander. It can be a difficult one, this. So easy to invalidate on the exit. You've got to be careful. And into what I like to call, I just call a stadium section, a bit like Mexico in a way. So always got to be careful with the traction through here. Across the line, 29.6, puts him P12 for the moment. And quite clear he wasn't absolutely flat out through that lap, so I think we'll have more time in him as he attacks the track a bit more. So this man's invalidation actually here, and Gunnar in P3 at the moment. Well, he's just crossed the line, so he's not just gone into P3, so I think he might be starting a lap, so stick with him. I love the tyres on that car, or the wheels, sorry, the wheel rims. Lovely. Very colourful. So Daguna's improving through sector 1. And again, a driver I'd expect to be getting well into the 27s. Exceptionally quick at Monaco last night, I can tell you. Even a couple of others just seem to... There's some, in fact, we had an absolutely awesome racing arc in Monaco last night. Quite possibly the best I think I've ever had, and but there was just a group of a few drivers that were just that step ahead of everyone else. There's 3 drivers, which was Daguna, Gaza, and JMB. And El Capitan as well, because Gaza unfortunately ended up out after somebody else had crashed. We didn't use ghosting, so it took him out unfortunately. But yeah, the 4 of them were absolutely on it. Ridiculous race pace. Qualifying in the 110s as well, which is just well, in my opinion, if you're not an esports driver, then qualifying in the 110s on Monaco is insane in my opinion. But there you go. I'm very easily pleased. Takuna in a way goes into P2 with a 27.748. Guys just missed then. That's Massey into the pits. Daguna's teammate on his way round. So, still our current Constructors champions. Daguna and Junkie. There's that. Daguna's moved on. Junkie, no, don't seem to be as on the pace this season as he was last. But he's still picking up useful points all the time. Which, if you're a driver, very much like on a Monday night with myself and Whale. Whale is kind of expected to be the one up the front trying to battle to win the races, but and what he needs from me is to be consistently scoring points, sort of around 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, that sort of area, to give us the best chance we've got of winning the Constructors. Of course, last week he finished 6th, so actually 7th because admin penalty removed, so we got moved down to 7th. So obviously he's got to do a lot better than that moving forward. But he did win the first 2 races of the season, so I'll let him off. I think he's allowed one. As long as he has 2 wins, he's allowed to have a bad one in the 3rd one. I'll allow it. And through this right-hander. So that's where we're likely to see the majority of the overtaking as Karting King joins us. Yes! So, just typing something in the Discord a second. Excellent. So great news that Karting King is with us now, and that gets us up to 18 for this evening, which is a really good figure. As Whoopi has put a time on the board, going into P4 on a 28.037. Well done to Whoopi earlier on, won his first ever race in the under-25s ARC League at Baku. So well done to Whoopi on that one. I think our best turnout actually in the under-25s league. We have 15 on track, which is really good, and what we've been actually hoping for it for ages. It's been a struggle to get, but it's encouraging today. Really good to see it. So, what else have we got going on then? Trying to spot someone that might be improving. Is that improve? Where are they? I think they might be starting at... Oh no, they've just finished a lap. So yeah, no, Lismore just improved onto a 29.2. Can't see anybody actually improving at the moment. Let's see. Nada's just coming up to the end of sector 2. And yeah, this is an improvement. So 6.5 attempts up at the moment. He's certainly challenging to nick the place of our resident hungover man, Crisp. And does indeed do that, so nips up into P15. In fact, just nips ahead of Twiglet as well by half a tenth. So gains a couple of places there, Ronaldo. Nicely done. Here's the man with the greatest name in the history of names, Craig. Comes up to this bloody corner, which for some reason I've completely... The name of that corner has just gone completely and utterly out of my mind. Which I'm so ashamed to say, but how can I forget that corner? That's insane. And whoopee, I just saw that. That was a retirement on track in qualifying. That's an oldie. You're going to get either a telling off or a spanking at the end of this. I'll tell you that, boy. Might even give you a penalty for that. Anyway, Craig on his way around the stadium, and looking good to improve. Does improve, in only half the tenth in the end, but did improve time. His teammate is improving as well, and he's just coming to the end of sector 1. Was in the pit. You were around by just coming up to Maggots and Beckett's. Well, I can only assume then it was that Hunter must have had a little incident on track at the same time and was causing a yellow flag. And because it was a Red Bull and I'd seen that you retired, I assumed it was you. If that's the case, I'll let you off. We won't give you a penalty, but I might still give you a spanking. Anybody else improving? Bowden did improve 28.8 now. X11. Oh, he's just crossed the line, improved by a couple of attempts. Lungis. Both Ferraris really close to each other on track. Massey comes through, set to 1, a tenth up. No problem, sir. You can definitely have that. And I'll give you an extra long one if you tell me what the name of that bloody corner is. It's escaped my mind. The one where Lewis and Max came together. And they had their crash. A couple of seasons back, wherever it was. Oh God, it's driving me insane. The name's been ingrained into my head for years, and yet now I can't remember it. Chardinho, no improvement there. And another opportunity then to see if somebody can nick the pole off of Chardinho. Little disappointed on the time so far. Oh no, hang on, am I... No, I am a little bit disappointed on the times. This is pretty slow so far. I do think the pole position is up for grabs here. Yeah, because I'm just thinking my TT around here is 27.1, so it's quite possible I can qualify half a second, so I'd be in the running for a pole position here. This is... I never get close to that, so... Cops! Oh, thank you. Thank you. Massey cannot put laps together. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing with a short qualifying. In the full qualifying sort of, you know, format, you can't you build up to that lap in quali 3, but not really having to go flat out through Q1 and Q2 if you're someone like yourself, Massey, and then so you sort of build up to it. But in short quali, you can do one lap where you're sort of maybe not 100% on it, but just to get one on the board. But then you straight away you've got to hit the top laps. So yeah. What do you mean? I ain't commentating. Make more face noises. Oh well, fair enough. You only did 3 laps of TT. Okay, right, excuses. You don't have to make excuses. Listening to Hilly during quali and just keep shouting cops at him. It's literally no good shouting at me, is it? I cannot hear you. I've got headphones on. Oh, God help me. Why did I ever join this league? Oh. Right, here we go then. Right, so Chaldinho takes pole once again. It's the usual suspects at the top, basically. Daguna P2. Pete has just shoved himself right in there. In P3, Massey P4, Whoopi 5, Valunga 6, Chris in 7th, Chip Van 8th, X11 in P9, Junkie Emperor 10, Hunter in P11 but has a 5-place grid penalty, so we'll start the sprint in 16th. That means Bowden up to 11th, Lismore up to 12th, Crisp up to 13th with his gigantic hangover, Twiglet up into 14th, and Craig, with the awesome name, up into 15th. Ronaldo will start 17th, and KK, who didn't manage to get a time on the board, will start at the back, but it's only technically the qualifying, bit of qualifying. So we'll move into the sprint. I'll probably take a couple of minutes or something. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of tactics going on here in the sprint. I think I wouldn't. Well, to be quite honest, I wouldn't be that shocked to see all 18 drivers on the medium tyres. You might see one or two on hards. You won't see anybody on softs. The softs ain't no good around here, like Silverstone. So yeah, I think the likelihood that everybody's going to be on the mediums. Then for the race, it is a very straightforward strategy around here. It's medium hard or hard medium, whichever way you want to do it, whichever way you think suits you for where you've qualified, I guess. But there is no option of a two-stop around here. It's just the pits. The time you spend in the pit lane around here for a pit stop is absolutely ridiculous. It's something like 51 seconds. It's insane. So yeah, just don't basically. So, and before anybody gets onto it, I'm not saying a pit stop takes 51 seconds. I said that's how long you spend in the pit lane. Obviously, you're moving during that time, so it doesn't actually take that long. Oh, God help me. Right, here we go then. Off they go. Onto the formation lap then. So we'll just do a double check, but I'm look. Oh, there's always one idiot in there. Oh, it's Hunter. Sorry, Hunter, but he's gone on softs, so yeah, he'll probably die before the end of this. They won't last, unfortunately for him. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, will they have an effect where it might be able to make him up 5 or 6 places? Actually, why is Hunter starting in P11? He had a 5-place grid penalty. So does the 5-place grid penalty carry through to the actual feature race? So it's wherever he finishes here, he starts 5 places. Oh my God, I don't know. No idea. Sorry to you guys that thought your commentator might be in the know on these things, but nah. Right. Oh, sorry, I was just putting my top on, if that's alright with you. Find the pass. Should have asked permission beforehand. Right then, let's gear ourselves up, shall we? Get ready to go on the sprint. So, in a way, as you can see, everybody on the medium tyres, apart from Hunter, who thinks the set of softs is going to make it all the way to the end of the sprint race. We'll see if he's right. He is a bit of a tyre wizard, you know, Hunter, so he might, if anybody on track has got a chance of doing that, it's probably him, as that is by far the best view we're going to get. So, here we go. 5 lights are on. 5 lights are out, and away we go. And Chardinho looked like he just bogged down a little bit off the start, and he's getting swamped. There's a contact between 2 drivers. Pete and Chit Van, it looks like. Drop down to the back, and there's all sorts of changes going on through the field, but yellow flags are out, and there's a 5-second penalty, I think, for X11. As Volungus makes his way round the outside of Junkie Emperor and into P4. So there was a yellow flag, so it's possible there were people being told to give places back there, which, if they may have gained them at the start under the yellow flags, they would have then been told to give them back. It could be very, very confusing. So, in a way, what it means is Massey is up 3 places and leads. Bagunas stays B2, Chris is up 4, Volungus up 2, Junkie's up 5, Hunter's up 5, Twigler up 8 places on the start. What a game that is. And he's not the only one. KK is as well. Phenomenal. But Pete and Chip Van, obviously, with that incident, have dropped down, and it's quite possible others may have got involved inadvertently. So, but Massey is stretching the lead already. He's 2 seconds out in the lead and flying at the moment, quite frankly. So, he obviously sets fastest lap of the race. It's early points, obviously the fastest lap doesn't really matter. KK gets ahead of Crisp and into P9 now, so at 9 places already. What a start to the race he's having. It does look like it's it seems alright there actually. I was just about to say it does look like KK's connection might be struggling, but actually it seemed alright then. It's okay. As you see Whoopi go up the inside there of Crisp, suddenly appeared on the left and makes that move stick. As Pete, X11 and Chip Van all into the pits. The end of lap 1. Contact was pretty heavy between Pete and Chip Van. I don't know if X11 got caught up in that or whether he had something else happen a bit later. It's just it's a good little battle going on here. This is between Whoopi, Crisp, Lismore, Ronaldo and Craig. We've also got one a bit further up, and I'm just looking at that as well. And it's early in the race yet. We've got multiple battles going on, I suppose, as you'd expect at this point. Let's have a look a bit further up, second. So this is Volungus in the Ferrari, leading a group, as you can see, which is Chunky Emperor directly behind him. You then got Hunter, who's on the softer course. So Chunky goes to the outside of Volungus, going into this left-hander. He's managed to hold it around the outside, and he's going to have the inside here. And that's brilliant from Junkie. Superb racing from Junkie Emperor as he gets past the Ferrari into P4. And Volungus leaving plenty of room as well and allowing the racing to happen, which is always very good for us and very appreciated by us. So well done to those two. And it looks like Volungus is going to come under a bit of attack immediately from Hunter as KK picks up a penalty. Silverstone very much a penalty track. There's going to be lots of penalties. There'll be plenty more before the end of the sprint, let alone by the time it gets to the end of the feature race, there'll be loads. So it's just so easy to pick up a 3 seconds around here. So, yeah. For the reason, Volungus just looks like he's struggling a bit at the moment on his mediums, and I'm trying to take a look at his car, and I can't see anything obvious in terms of damage, so I don't think. I'm hoping for a better view to come up in any second now. We'll have a look, see if he's lost an end plate or something at some point. Hopefully this view. No, he's got both end plates, so I don't think it's damage. I think Volungus is just struggling a little bit, which is incredibly unlike him. Chardinho, I hadn't even noticed actually that he'd fallen down that far, Chardinho. So it's P8 now, P7 as he gets past Twiglet, who's to a brilliant start again this week, up 7 places in the sprint already, and the man behind him up 9. So really good seeing Twiglet did really well last week, and it's great to see him starting again this week. So Chris then on the back of the Gooner now. This is a battle for position, but of course Chris does have the penalty. So, and in terms of penalties, guys, I'll bring them up 3 laps from the end, so lap 7. I'll bring the penalties up so we can have a look, but this early part, I'd rather keep them under wraps for the moment. So, or is it when I go on to a battle, it sort of fizzles off a little bit? So gaps are starting to appear throughout the field now, which I suppose you'd expect. 5 laps, well, on the 5th lap. Oh, the Gooner picks up a penalty. Now that's music to Chris's ears, so music to Mass's ears as well, who looks absolutely nailed on for pole now. But, and the 8 points. But this now means that this battle potentially, I'd say I'm not 100% sure what Chris's penalty is, but if it is a 3-second as well, this is a genuine battle for position now. I'm going to come away because they're just a little bit far apart at the moment. Hunter sets a free yellow. It appears to be Pete, and he's at a moment coming out of the final corner, which can happen around here. It's that whole bit that I said I tend to call the castle section. It's very low on traction. Just in the background there, Whoopi had just gotten past Twiglet for P8. But at the moment, Hunter's able to stay with Falungus. He caught him very quickly, and he's able to stay with him, but he's just... he doesn't seem to have the grip and the power to be able to get past him. And yeah, I mean, in the actual race, 6, 7, maybe 8 laps on softs, they're going to be, however many it is that you're doing, they're going to be towards the end of their life right now. So you would think that they're going to struggle a bit from this point onward, I would have thought. But as I said, I've seen him other races, and he's a bit of a tyre whisperer. He can really look after his tyres, Hunter. How he does it, he does. I swear I saw something flick up then into the air. Did that come off of KK's car, or was it something on the track that he's flicked up with his tyre? So DRS Whoopi has a look, but he didn't manage to keep it. Okay, comes back at him. Wins the place back. Yeah, you see the drivers driving this close together. Yeah, so I thought maybe would be maybe take a wider line in and cut across a little bit to give him a better exit. But no, just going to wait for the back straight opportunity coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, and always a bit wary of that inside curve. I don't like touching that personally, but he seemed okay with it. And here we go into Cops, and well, slight problem now for Whoopi because KK's now within a second of Hunter. He's picked up DRS, so it might end up being that Whoopi's had his last opportunity here. Hunter at the moment as well still has DRS. Oh, wow, that's a massive straight line speed gain. And where is KK? Looks like Whoopi's got him this time. KK will have to, yeah, just come in behind and accept that one. He was miles behind Whoopi. I don't know where he's got that pace from. That's insane. And if he's set up with such low downforce to give him that sort of speed, I'm on the straights to help with overtaking. How is he staying this close right to corners? Because that was a big advantage he had then. He's showing it again, isn't it? He really does seem to have, mind you, as I said, Hunter's going to be struggling with those soft tyres. There's also the fact Hunter may have actually gotten out of the way there, to be honest. He won't obviously be wanting to hold his teammate up. It is we do run a constructor, so they do actually work as a team for the season. So, and you've got some teammates here that have actually been working together for a long time. They've been in the same team for quite some time now. So the Gunnar and Junkie, the two McLarens, are one team that's, say, they are the Constructors Championship, those two. Giardino in his fight back gets back past Twiglet and is now back up to P9, but that's still a loss of 8 places. And well, we move on to the final lap, and still say I'm just going to be careful. I genuinely think that these tyres are going to be absolutely screaming at him. Oh, goodness me, got close. It's corners like that where you're absolutely flat out become incredibly difficult when you're on high wear, and also where they can end up. Oh no, there's a contact. They end up having contact to Hunter and KK. And that was on KK, I'm afraid. That's far behind. It's your job not to go in front, and so that one is on KK. But never mind, they know each other pretty well, and these things happen. Chance here, maybe, for Chris up the inside. Nicely done. Can he hold it? Finally, these two have been together for ages. It looks like Chris is going to come out the winner on that one. Very nicely done. Didn't bring the penalties up, but oh no, Chris had more penalties. Okay, I'm not really sure why you bothered then. So Massey takes pole position and the 8 points. Daguna P2, McLaren 2 and 3. Very nicely done. Absolutely brilliant from Junkie Emperor. And Daguna, of course, but Junkie Emperor really making up the places. Chris P4 because of the penalties. Whoopi in the end made his way up to P5. Giardino recovered to P6 in the end. Volungus P7. Twiglet 8. Lismore 9. Hunter, that late contact with KK, dropped to P10. Craig in 11. Ronaldo in 12. Bowden in P13. Crispin 14. KK 15. X11 in 16. Chip Van in 17. Pete in 18. Unfortunately for these guys, with what happened at the start, there was no safety car, so I'm not able to. Unfortunately, if you have a contact that makes you pit around here, unless there's a safety car, you're not very likely to recover from it. It's as I said, it's an incredibly long pit stop. So there we have it. So that is the sprint race completed. We know Massey's on pole, but we also know he's got two very eager McLarens starting just behind him. And Swiglet was awarded driver of the day there by the game for the sprint race. We didn't really do a sprint race driver of the day, but he did do exceptionally well. He's up to 8th place. But I think, no offence to Twiglet, but I think actually Junkie Emperor probably deserves that award. If it was an award, which is not, so, ignore me. There you go, there's a little rundown of them. And unfortunately I can't do the race director, guys, because it doesn't let you on the sprint. It just, press the button and it just moves straight on to the next screen. So, there you have it. Right, okay, so we're obviously going into the feature race now after the sprint, so I'm just going to take a moment, take a quick break, grab myself another coffee, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. So, see you in a moment. It's okay, guys, back with you, and just waiting for the shout out. So, okay, be interesting to see what tires everybody goes. You've got to assume the McLarens are going to split strategies here. You wouldn't imagine they start on the same tyre. I technically can just pit a lap between, just agree a pit lap between you and don't change it. But I think I would split strategy anyway. I think I'd, personally, I think I'd, the way he drove there, getting through the field, I think I'd start junky on the hards and start the gearing on the mediums. But there is a problem around here, though, in the fact that there's every chance at Silverstone that we won't have a safety car. It's a very low expectation of safety car around here, but it doesn't mean we won't. And if we do get one, and you've started on hards and it's too early to pit the mediums, then you you're potentially out of running already. Basically, it's because the medium guys, whatever lap it is, the guys on mediums will just come in and pit for hards. Even if it's like that Ford, you can still come in and pit for hards. It's not an issue. You get to the end, and it's, as I said, it's a hugely long pit stop around here. So It's such an advantage to be able to do that if it happens, but I don't know, for whatever reason, for me, it never happens. It's just, I always think that. I always think, oh, hopefully I'll start on mediums, hopefully there's a safety car really early. Or if it does ever happen, there's always another safety car later on that completely ruins it. In a way, that's enough of me chatting complete rubbish. I'll just chat a little bit of rubbish now as we start the countdown. Ready to start the race. And, hey, Lycorius. Yeah, shame you're not on track, mate. Always good to have you here. But yeah, so far it's been alright. Just that contact at the start of the sprint, but things happen. Contacts happen. It's part of it. Just move on. At least it's only a sprint that's happened in. Hopefully we can get away okay on the main feature race. That's the main one. So, heard the expression points win prizes. Well, finishing wins points in HRF1. So if you finish, you score. Simple as that. Obviously, the higher you finish, the more you score. But there you have it. So, but it does range from 40 points to the winner of the race, down to if it's a full grid of 20 drivers and all 20 finished, a 20th place driver would get 1 point. With all sorts in between. So let's go to the tyres then and see who's done what. And that still shocks me. People starting on soft side. Yeah, so actually I'm really surprised to see the top 11 starting on mediums. And Crisp in 13th actually. Bowden's on softs and Pete's on softs at the very back. I'm a little bit surprised that nobody's gone hards. That's a little bit of a surprise in that top group. But then KK, Hunter and Chip Van all starting on hards further down. Now, if it's a safety car free race, that will give them... Well, let me put it this way. If it's a safety car free race, all those 3 drivers that are starting on hards will gain places in this race. I can guarantee you it. But we'll see if that's the case. Anyway, coming up to the end of the lap, there's a huge gap. I'm not sure why this is, but there is a huge gap from whoever that is behind Craig, the other Haas, so that's Bowden. So yeah, it's between Bowden and Crisp, I think. There's a gigantic gap, but it has closed up, to be fair, towards the end of the lap, so it's alright. Okay, who do you fancy? Do you think the McLarens are going to do a number? What do you think? Disqualifications at the end of the formation lap for not fitting into the grid slots properly. That's not a bad view. Keep that one in mind. I think that was the best one it's offering. So let's stick with this one. We can see the lights coming on nicely. 4 on, 5 on. Out they go, and away we go. And Massey looks like he bogs down slightly. It wasn't too bad a getaway actually, but both McLarens start pretty well. Whoopi seems to start pretty well. Chardinho as well, as Whoopi does get ahead of one of the McLarens. He's got the inside, and these junkies also coming under pressure from Chardinho, but looks like he's fought that one off for now. And, so far, no yellow flag, so I think we've gotten away okay. And KK's dropping down, so we have got one in the end. Why did I have to say something? That's my fault. Commentator's curse. Right, Chardinho still attacking Junkie to try and pick up on P4 early doors. You'd love to split those McLarens at the moment immediately and get right onto the back of Whoopi straight away, but oh, he's ranged. Chardinho's ranged. And that will drop him. Bar Carton King, it will drop in all the way to the back. Just Carton King after his spin left behind him. But if you can have a spin, have it early so that you've got a chance to recover it. And get Bowden on his soft tyres. So it did turn out that actually Hunter at the start of the sprint, if you remember, he's the only one that did the sprint on the soft tyres. It actually turned out he picked up wing damage at the start when the collision happened, so he didn't actually get a good idea as X11 drops down of what the sort of soft pace was in the early doors, unfortunately, because he had wing damage. But it's Lismore also has a spin, he recovers it, and unfortunately that's the two Mercedes. It's not a view we're used to seeing in Formula 1, but the two Mercedes at the back, up to the fronts. There, as you can see, they're all very, very tight together still. Swigler in P8 has just dropped out of the 1 second to Bowden in 7th. Oh, he's just got back within. Oh no, he's back out again. So he's sort of in and out. He's doing the okey-dokey at the moment with the 1 second, but otherwise, so I think we'll say the top 8 at the moment, still all within a second of each other. And one's just outside of that. They're all pretty close as well. May need to drop down, I think, to Hunter, who's getting extremely close to Crisp. And they are running side by side through Maggots and Beckett's, and Crisp at the moment has defended it. And they've got a charge in Pete on the back of them on soft tyres. Already up to 12th place. He's absolutely flying. And a battle between Valungus and Bowden now as well, but this is tight at the moment. I don't particularly want to leave this. It's always the way you leave because you've noticed another battle and then something happens on the one you were watching, so yeah, pretty much like Glorious. It's kind of strange. The mediums and the hards work pretty well around here. The softs have a massive advantage at the start of their stints, but they go off very quickly, extremely quickly. So it's a bit strange, but yeah, I'm not sure what's happening to KK. He's seemed to be stopped for a long time there, but he is back going again. And let's just do stay with this battle. It's the other battle that was going on is gap now, so not worried about that. This is by far our closest battle at the moment on track. There's got a little one just there between Chitvan and Chaldinho, as Chaldinho looks to start making his way back up the field. We know what his pace is like, so we know he will do that. In fact, with the length of the race, he's going to, you know, providing no more incidents, he should. I'm confident that he can make his way back into the top 5 before the end of this race if there's no more incidents. But Pete gets ahead of Crisp as he continues his charge at the start. It's the brilliant thing, starting on soft, you really can make your way through the field, and both soft starters have. So if you notice, the two soft starters, Bowden up 5 places, Pete up 8. So it has definitely worked for them. But of course, they're not going to have... They're going to be at a particular disadvantage later in the race. So I am wondering actually if we're going to see some rain. The sky ain't exactly great. And KK ultimately has actually had to come into the pits. So whatever that incident was. Oh, he's retired out actually. He was having some connection issues, so if those connection issues have continued, perhaps he's chosen to retire out. Sometimes it could be a bit worrying. You might be a danger to other drivers if you're having particularly bad issues. So, so I'd like to go to wherever the battles are, and at the moment they tend to be down the lower end of the field. X11 is putting Chitvan under pressure. Just a bit further up, you've got Chaldinho putting Hunter under pressure as well. Both the same sort of distance apart. As Curtin King's car comes out onto track, it should be gone by the time the leaders get round there. And X11 does. Oh, he got the move done, but it looks to me like Chitvan's going to come back, and indeed he does. And by the time they reach the stadium part of the third sector. He is back in front. I think X11 just went in a bit hot and got wide on the exit. The right-hander. So he's going to have to start again pretty much for that one. Chardino did get past Hunter. Oh, there's a bit of contact with Crisp there. Don't hit Crisp's car. He's probably got a big headache. He's got a massive hangover. And don't want to upset him. Don't poke the bear. It's Chardino. It's a great overspeed again down the straight, and Whoopi do seem to be getting incredible straight line speeds. Chardino up into 11 then, so the next one up the road is his teammate Pete. Pete's actually a reserve, so technically he's got no real affiliation to Alfa Romeo connection, so he may not be happy to just get out of the way, quite frankly, but he's on his own charge at the moment. I think the softs are beginning to feel it though. I know it's only lap 5, but they really don't last long, guys. Hunter did really well to have him still performing in any way on lap 9 of the sprint before the contact, but oh, Pete spun. He spun. Oh, it's like the final corner. It's a nightmare, in it. That part of this track is an absolute nightmare, and that is Ronaldo into the pits. And he retires out in the pits. Why are people just retiring? I'm not Cotton King. I know he had connection issues, but Ronaldo seems to retire every week at the moment. It's a shame. Maybe he had damage. I don't know. Oh, okay, Ronaldo. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so the wheel wouldn't work. It's a shame, man. I wonder if there was a little issue though, because your wheel didn't work properly. KK was having connection issues, and you're the two PC players. So I wonder. I don't know why I suddenly started shouting to be able to talk to you, but I don't know. You seem a bit further away than the rest. Yeah, I wonder if it was something to do with PC tonight. Perhaps Steam, maybe. Is it Steam? I don't know. Whatever it is, just having. Maybe they're having a few issues. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it all. It's no good asking me. What are you asking me for? Anyway. Still tight at the front. I don't really know who to watch right now. It's really tight. It's oh, we got a retirement. Pete's out in the pits. Yeah, that's another one in the pits. And that spin out of the final corner, didn't he? That drops him down. What a start to the race he had as well. He was up to P10. Would have been nice to see him carrying on through. But, he wasn't out of the race. He wasn't that far behind that he was completely out of this race. Not with his pace. So, again, a shame to see him go. Not sure why. But, there you go. Should we go to the front two? Because it is actually, Daguna is very much staying with Massey. So, in the sprint, Massey got into first. He made up 3 places, got into first, and disappeared immediately. Almost like he caught everybody else napping a little bit, but it's not happening in the race. And G920, ooh, that's not good, because that's what I've been thinking about one of them. I'd like to make a move to Will at some point. It's not on my immediate to-do list, but it's something I've been thinking about. And Bowden into the pits then, so 7 laps completed on the softs, which is about what we thought. So instead sort of 6, 7, 8, so it's actually bang in the middle of what we thought. We've got a set to 3 yellow is Crisp. It's our It's our hangover, man. It's the problem with having a league on a Sunday, innit? There's always somebody with a massive hangover. Chaldinho makes up another place in his pursuit to get right back up the field, and I tell you what, well, you've got to give it to him. The lad's flying. He's absolutely flying. Back up to P7 already, and if he works his pit stop out right, he may well nick some time around the pit stops. So we'll have to see. So I've got to go back to the leaders. They come down the DRS straights. Gunnar did actually get to just 2 tenths behind there at one point. So Gunnar is really starting to put some pressure on Massey at the front. Gunnar is still lapping just 3.5 tenths, or that lap in a way was 3.5 tenths off his PB on lap 8 of medium tyres. Now, the expected lap for medium tyres will be lap 11. Sorry, the expected pit lap for medium tyres will be lap 11. So still lapping very close. If he could stay that close to his PB, then there's no reason he won't extend the stint slightly. It's always good to keep an eye on your times if you can, so you don't take your eye off the road too much. But so see, looked like he struggled a little bit there. Into pops once more. Oh, this man is a completely different driver to the driver he was about 6 months ago. He's not just out there to make numbers up. He's not just out there to... Oh, he dummies a pit stop, Massey, but the Gunnar didn't dummy it, and in he comes at the end of lap 9. That is early. So, lap 11 would be the expected pit stop for mediums. Did Massey just took the Gunnar into that? It looked like it might have done. It did look like he might have done, to be honest. I don't think the Gunnar would fall for something like that. I really don't think he would. I think it's just... I think he'd probably said in his head, if Massey pits, I stay out. If he doesn't, I come in. So when he saw Massey go back to the left, he dived in. And I don't think for a second he's fallen for a dummy pit stop. We have a little battle here. As I say, it is early. It's I think Massey would be quite interested to see that, because I think you'd probably feel they're still lapping pretty close to the PBs, as I said. Laguna just 3.5 tenths off. I think assuming Massey's doing something similar, I think he'd be pretty happy that that's just happened, quite frankly. Where is Laguna? Laguna's come out and pits. See what I mean by late for pit stop around here? Look how far down he is. So, well, we're on board with Massey, so you can see where we are. He's just coming into the pits. Laguna's just gone through Cops, and yet, believe it or not, this will be close on exit. So, I'm actually a little surprised that Massey's come straight in. I honestly thought he might have hung that out 2 or 3 laps, because the mediums were still performing, in my opinion. I don't think he needed to do that. Junkie stays out. Junkie's going to continue on a bit more. And why on earth wouldn't you, as soon as he picks up a penalty? Gunnar stayed out. So where's Massey? Gunnar is going around the final corner. It's going to be close, but I think Massey will get out ahead. Should see orange appear on it. Well, that car that was just coming round was the Gunnar. So he's close, but he has lost time to Gunnar. But so he's lost time. That's the gap. So he has lost time, but Massey's got to heat his tyres up. Daguna's already heated, so he'll be back on the back of Massey before you can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So he told you he's already on the back. So he told you, even I couldn't say it quick enough, and I was the one saying it. So there you go. Right. So he reacted. He's got track position. Is it enough? He's got track position. He's got a... The driver out there was just where we were. It was Lismore. Just coming out of Baggett's and Beckett's, and that was the bit that Massey needed to defend. So technically now he's got a one lap advantage over Daguna on tyre wear. And his tyres are up to spec now on temperature, so there you go. As the front two came in, sorry, two of the front three, Junkie Emperor and Chardinho are in, and where will they come out? That's the question. So top five still to pit. So we're on lap 12. I wouldn't be too shocked if the top three all come in on this lap. It's not really ideal to go any longer than 12 laps. You can do 13 on mediums, but it's not really advised. Oh goodness me, Leonardo, yeah, that's a nightmare. Maybe I'll stick with me trusty pad. It never goes wrong. So I don't know why I'm sticking there. Into the pits comes Volungus, and I think the other two will probably follow. But look at Tweedlet, getting from P2. What a race he's having again this week. And Hunter obviously started on the hards. So the guys who started on the hards, you should really be expecting them in around about lap 15 or 16, unless any of them decide to stay out longer to go to softs instead. Personally, that's not something I would do, but yeah, they potentially might stay out to the end of lap 19, maybe even 20, so that they can go to softs, but I don't think that's particularly advisable. I think the mediums hold the advantage longer over the hard tyres, so I think you're better off doing that in my opinion, but the time you lose to stay on the worn hards is too much. So anyway, Chris getting ahead of Twiglet there, who's of course getting his tyres up to temperature. So anyway, our two left remaining that started on the hard tyres, by the way, Hunter and Chitvan, are currently running P1 and P2. Obviously, they are going to drop significantly when they pit, but they're also going to be very fast in the second half of this race. So it's interesting to see where they finish. I guaranteed that they would both make up places from where they started, and I stick by that. Struggling for a battle right now. Chardinho's got onto the back of Volungus. Here we go. So we'll stick with this one. Massey and Daguna are still close. There's Chardinho. Marches past Volungus. Again, Volungus getting those tyres up to temperature, leaves him vulnerable to the already heated tyres of Chardinho. So maybe a bit easier for Chardinho than it should have been, but it's just the way it is. So right now, it looks like Massey's ability to stay penalty free throughout a race is really, really helping him. Daguna's certainly staying with him, and he's certainly keeping Massey honest. There's no doubt about that. But it does look like Massey's ability to do that is what's going to come and help him in the end. And same for Junkie Emperor as well. Let's create. I thought we might have had a battle brewing here. No, okay, let's go back to Massey and the Gunnar then. See, they've been within a second. Apart from about a quarter of a lap when the pit stops occurred, they've been continuously within a second for the whole race so far. Quite frankly, I haven't really given them enough airtime for how close they've been, but it's just because battles were happening elsewhere, and that's just the way it is. But into the pits comes Chip Van. He's going to act first to come off with the hard tyres. So 14 laps completed on hards means you do 12 on the mediums. Wouldn't be massively shocked to see Hunter stay out to go to softs, but I don't think that's the right call. But I wouldn't be shocked to see him do it. He does like to use a set of softs during the race. It'd also be a great way of getting an extra point by picking up the fastest lap, or a real chance of doing that. But unless there's a late pitter to try and nick it off him. See, at the moment, if I'm the Gunnar, the best place for me to be is exactly where he is, because the best way of levelling this playing field and Massey picking up a penalty is by putting pressure on him, and you really do that from behind him. If the Gunnar's the car in front, Massey can just follow him round and stick on the back of him with the RS. It's not really putting pressure on him, whereas at the moment what he's doing is putting pressure on him, and he will hope at some point we'll force him into a mistake that awards a penalty. But as it stands right now, the Gunnar is doing absolutely everything he can. There's no doubt about that. Really may need to make a move, actually. Chardinho and Junkie Emperor are also very, very close. As is Chip Van on the back of X11. So I think we will make a move. Set to 1 yellow. I think it was Lungus, but he had the gap, but he hadn't lost any places. He's going to come under attack from Chris here. A lob up the inside. They do make a bit of contact, not much. Kiss on wheels, really. And go. Maybe a tiny bit more contact. As Lungus tries to defend that position from his mistake. We've got another set to 1 yellow. And it looks like it's Crisp. I'm not going to move to that one. Let's just stick with this for a moment. Looks like Volungus has defended that attempt from Chris. There is going to be DRS here. Is he going to be close enough? He's starting to pick up pace. He's going to get there, I think. He's going to get it done before they break. So he has that done. Is Volungus going to be able to come back? Oh, no, he doesn't. I'm glad to see that, actually. He didn't try and force it. One of the drivers would have tried to force that then and throw it out the inside a bit, but Volungus didn't. He's experienced enough to know not to do that. And great bit of battling from the two drivers. And Chris, in the end, takes the place off of Volungus. Well done for P7. Still Massey and Gunnar are close and battling. It's so still Hunter. To be fair to Hunter, he's not losing. He is losing time to Massey, but he's not losing a massive great deal of time at all. So quite frankly, while he's not losing that much time, I don't blame him for holding out, because two reasons. One, as I say, potentially pick the softs and pick up what could well be an easy fastest lap for an extra point. So that happens to Chardino, I think. Junkie goes past him. Junkie's disappeared on him, so yeah, I think something actually happened there. I think maybe Chardino got out of shape. As Hunter does come in, and I think he's going to go to softs. I'd say it's a potential easy fastest lap. Yeah, they're red. They're red. I thought he might have hung out a little bit longer than that, because, as I said, he wasn't losing time. And there's always the possibility a safety car could come out. And if a safety car came out at that moment, they'd have all come in. He'd have been leading the race. So they've all come in for softs. Nobody was stuck out there on hard, surely. So just looking where he comes out. And really close with Twiglet. And he's going to hold the position. He's still the same. He still needs to get the tyres up to temperature, but obviously being softs, they'll get there really quickly compared to the other compounds. I don't think he'll have too much trouble, to be honest with you, holding it off. So just have a look, see how well I'm doing on my little prediction. Hunter's up 7 places. Chip fans up. So both the drivers who started on hard tyres have made up 7 places already, and they've got the rest of this race with a tyre advantage to go. So, you know, I don't like to say I told you so, but, you know, I told you so. Chardino gets past Junkie Emperor. Look at that straight line speed. That's insane. That is insane. Is this guy running 0-0 wings at Silverstone? What do you guys run at Silverstone? I'm really thinking off the top of my head here, but I think I run about 2014 or something like that. Something around that figure in a way. It's not that long since I did Silverstone, but it's long enough I can't quite remember. Which means it's probably last weekend. Get on a bit. So to mention that Massey has pulled a gap at the front, so he's up to 2 seconds. Whatever happens, the Gona is absolutely running today. He's absolutely running ragged, and I think he's done everything he could to try and force him into an error. There's still plenty of laps left. You know, for all we know, a safety car might come out yet. Hunter will be rubbing his hands together if a safety car comes out, I tell you. Well, actually, I mean, he won't be, because he'd be driving money, but you know what I mean. So, let's see if this makes. I think he's just a bit too far off here for Lungus. Yeah, it's just a bit too far away on that occasion, but Sutton closed the gap. And, let's just come down, because we've got a little bit of a freeway going on here between Twiglet, Chip Van and X11. So Twiglet, though, penalty free. The others both have penalties. Same as the sprint race, guys. I'll look around about lap 23, 24, something like that. I'll bring the penalties up so we can take a look. There'll probably be more collected between now and then in a way. So I like to keep it under wraps if I can, at least to a few laps to the end, because it ruins battles sometimes. Sometimes you ain't got many battles going on a track, and when you know one's got 10 seconds of penalties and the other's got 3, it kind of ruins it a bit. So it does just look like, I don't know, X11 looks like he might be happy just to hold on to the back of these. That seems usual self, X11, to me. He's usually, I know there's things have gone on throughout the race and that, but I don't know. It's a little bit with both Ferrari drivers, Lungus and X11. They're usually highly competitive, those two, in the races. And I I'm not saying they're not being competitive tonight. They're still doing their best, still competing, they're still trying to finish as high as they can. But I just perhaps Silverstone in one of their tracks tonight. I don't know. So Twiglet's still holding them off at the moment, and see what, Twiglet's having another great race this week. They give him a bit of jip in the old Discord, but he's I think he's driven really well again this week, to be honest with you. So both my hard starters still remain 7 places up each. They're doing very nicely. And 2 of the guys that have retired out as well, actually, in fact, no, actually, I think all 3 of the guys that have retired out started behind both of them, so they don't actually include, they don't actually count in those 7 places gained, so only doing the fact that they might be ahead of a young guy. Angus and Chris ahead of, just want to stick with this as Chip Van does get ahead of Twiglet. But Twiglet just needs to stay there. He's not any risk. We're about to cross the line, going to lap 23. So 4 laps remaining, and oh no, sorry, they're going on to lap 22. So 5 laps remaining, and got every chance of staying within that as Lungus picks up a penalty. He's about to move to them, so coming down the smaller straights with the DRS, and Chris keeps his car pretty well placed, defends that with reasonable ease. They do have a charging Hunter on the back of them, by the way. Remember, Hunter pitted to the soft tyres. He wants to get these places. Right now, I think Hunter would quite like to see Volungus get past so that he can then attack Chris and then get onto Hunter, Volungus after. Because at the moment they're not they're holding him up. They're causing him problems. He's much faster than them, and he hasn't got the energy, has he, to expect to spend. I mean, this is going to be a lunge if he goes for this. He keeps it really tight to the inside. Oh, but then comes out. Oh, Volungus is still there, thank goodness for that. Oh dear. Yeah, they're on hard tyres, so they're going to be braking earlier. So, there we have it anyway. That's Hunter up into P7. And one of the Haas drivers of a spin. It's Bowden. As he gets going. What are you doing? Splash into the pits and a retirement, mate. I'd rather just driving it round to pick up the points, you know. Don't understand it. I don't understand it when people do that. I just don't. It's you know, it's up to them ultimately. But his teammate, that would really get my wick. In a way, Hunter. Then we still get past Volungus. Of course, he's now going to be battling Chris. So on to the main DRS straight they go. Chris looks to hold the inside. It's a kind of switchback technique. Didn't work on this occasion. He's going to need to be a bit closer on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's to get this man. Who, to be fair to him, Chris is defending superbly. He's doing it to Hunter now, who's lightning on those soft tyres, but he was really holding Flungus off for quite some time before that, so he really is defending quite brilliantly. Just looking a bit further down, X11's now gotten past Twiglet and is into P10, but again he's got a penalty, so same sort of scenario really for Twiglet. You just got to hold on to him. Sorry, I did say we get the penalties out, didn't I? So let's do that. Here we go. So right then, so Daguna's got 6 seconds. I wonder if picking up the additional 3 seconds actually made him say, right, that's enough now. I'm not fighting for the win anymore. Oh, taking P2. So that might be why the gap appeared actually. Whoopi has 11 seconds. It's going to hurt. And Chardinho 5. So at the moment that won't affect. In fact, at the moment, Chardinho will end up on the podium. So incredibly, as Massey sets Massey sets fastest lap of the race on worn tyres. Almost sort of saying I'm playing with you guys. That's what it feels like when somebody does that to you. Anyway, 3 seconds for Chris, 3 for Hunter, so these are genuinely battling for a position here, so we're on the right battle, no doubt about that. Flungus on 6 seconds, Chip Van 6 seconds, 9 seconds for X11, and then penalty-free Twiglet and Craig, and then Liz Moore 8 seconds, Chris 3 seconds. The other penalty-free drivers are Massey and Junkie Emperor. Fortunately for Junkie Emperor, incredibly, actually right now he would gain 1 place. I was about to say that it's not going to help him, but actually, as it stands right now, he is close enough to Whoopi that he would gain a place. So he would jump up to P4, but he needs to stay there. And obviously make sure he doesn't pick anything up himself. So right. Try and think ahead to a driver of the day now, and well, you all know the stock I put on being penalty free, so it's without doubt, in my opinion, that Massey and Junkie Emperor are the 2 standouts. Sort of likelihoods, and I think ultimately, no offence to Junkie, but he has actually dropped places in the race, so I think it's one of those. It's a really difficult one because Massey sort of dominated the sprint race, and now he's led from start to finish here as well, which is definitely a driver of the day performance. But with Junkie, he actually started quite far down in the sprint race. He gained a load of places in the sprint race. Okay, he's lost a couple in the race, but or maybe actually as it stands he'd only lose 1. Will only have lost 1, but actually thinking about that is actually really tight. So Whoopi, that's 1.2 seconds. It's currently 9.8. I guess it's not that tight, but he'd have to lose just over another second actually, so it's not that tight really. Okay, let's go to our main man then as he comes round the final corners and takes victory at Silverstone for Williams. Brilliant performance from Massey in both sprint race and race. Made up 3 places in the sprint race to take the victory and has taken maximum points. He's won the sprint race, he's won the main race, he's taken he's taken the fastest lap, and yes, he has taken my driver of the day in a way. There'll be a vote for the actual driver of the day in the Discord, but he gets my vote and my driver of the day on the stream in a way. Daguna at MP2, brilliant drive from Daguna. Shame about the penalties, but still showed that he can keep Massey honest. Chaldino does get up to P3, Junkie does get up to P4, Whoopi drops to 5, Chris P6, Hunter in 7, with a brilliant drive, Hunter. Well done, my friend. Volungus in P8. Swigler, also, man, very good drive again this week. Takes P9. Craig, you did well as well. P10. Chip Van P11. So, as I said at the start, there's no safety cars. Those two guys starting on the hard tyres will make up places. And boy, did they. Incredibly well, both of them. So it was 3 drivers, but one of them retired. But yeah, the 2 remaining at the end. And Massey comes out to celebrate his win. Let's see what sort of silly dance he does. Oh, no silly dance from Massey. I respect that. No silly dance from Massey. Did Cialdino nick your fastest lap? I missed that. I didn't see that come up. Oh, the bum. How dare he? Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, Massey. Congratulations on winning the sprint race. But and you, as I say, you get my driver of the day as well this week, man. I think the only other person who deserves it would be Junkie Emperor, and for his gains in the sprint race, and then obviously he's lost 1 place in the race, but he's still driven very, very well and stayed penalty free like yourself. So there we go. Shout out to the other penalty free drivers who were Twiglet and Craig. So well done to you guys as well. There we have it. Let's just go to the results race. I don't know where I got down to. I think Chip Van P11, X11 in 12, Crisp 13, Lismore 14, Bowden down. So Bowden, Pete, Ronaldo, Carton King are retirements. And can I get the race director? Yes. Incidents for the race. Let's see if I can get through all of them. I'll get through as many as I can before it disappears. Oh, I nearly got there, but got a vast majority of them in. Less than the 10th minute as well. Oh, no. Well done in a way, Massey, and fair play to Cialdino for nicking it, I guess. But there we go. In a way, that's yeah. So congratulations on your win, buddy. And the max, well, not quite the maximum points. Then you missed out on 1 point for the fastest lap, but still 48 points. It's a massive step towards securing a title. Hopefully from your corner in a way. And yeah, well done. We'll look forward to next week. I will have a quick gander. I always like to know what's coming up next. I'll forget by tomorrow, but still like to look if I can. So yeah, calendar. There are short seasons in HRF1, right? It's just 12 race seasons, so it's, things, little moments like that are important. That's a huge amount of points to pick up in such a short season. So we are in the US of A next for the Miami Grand Prix. So it is Miami, not the Circuit of the Americas, but Miami. So it's a street track, and the newest track, and I think a great track, quite personally. I think it was really difficult to start with, but I think people are getting used to it now. And sets of 1's still quite difficult, isn't it? But a bit slippy. There we go. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you to all of you that have watched live and kept me entertained throughout the race, and thanks to everybody that watches the stream back. I appreciate all of it. We'll be back same time next week for the 5th round of the championship then at Miami. Don't forget though, we are live tomorrow night now. We are live on Monday nights now with Trem, so please come and join for that. As actually, me and Whale keep up our hunt for the constructors on the Monday nights, but there's loads of other drivers as well, but me and Whale are the main ones, so come and watch us. Anyway, guys, thank you ever so much. Enjoy what's left of your weekend, but have a good, safe week, whatever you're doing, working probably, and I'll see you next week. Good night, God bless, see you again soon.